There we go. Okay, so when you're trying to name these things, right, there is a list at the top of this sheet, 10.2, that runs through the order that you should be thinking about things in. The first thing you should identify or think about is the longest chain of carbons. What is the longest consecutive chain of carbons in my organic molecule? The next thing I should be thinking about is, okay, what are the functional groups on this molecule? Okay, there are 12 different functional groups that I have shown you. They are from the first day's notes, okay? So hopefully maybe you got this filled in, whether you were in that class or not in that class. I hope that you somehow maybe got the notes from that day. And we need to identify which functional group we have. Once we know which functional groups we have, then we can open up the first packet, and there are rules for each functional group. Okay, if I identify that I have an ester, I can find ester in this table, go to the next cell, trace over, and read how the appropriate ester name is derived. All right, we have all these prefixes as well in the second page of that first document, but you kind of need everything. And if you've looked at the third sheet that you grabbed on the way in, we're completely flipping the script. Instead of giving you a picture and having you write the name, I'm giving you a name and asking you to draw the molecule. This is just killer energy in here today, children. Loving it. Yeah.
Why can't you teach outside?
Why can't I teach outside?
It's all the way over there.
It's so far along.
And you know, nothing would get accomplished.
Nothing's getting accomplished.
Maybe they should make like skylights.
We talked about conspiracy theories last class. We talked about conspiracy theories.
In what context?
Was JFK thing accurate? JFK. Do you believe in the JFK? One of the JFK conspiracies?
I haven't looked into it enough, but I generally avoid conspiracy theories pretty heavily.
How about the like whole theory of everybody has a mole on their like left forearm?
That's not
Somewhere. It's there.
Huh?
A mole. Like if you look on your left forearm, there's a mole. It's just a general vicinity.
Where?
Your left forearm, somewhere in this area.
Nope, I got none.
No.
Oh, they're not tracking me.
There's one. No, let's not do that. Let's do this instead. So let me get your bearings again and kind of reacclimate what we were up to, because it's getting pretty difficult towards the end of that second sheet, and we've got to be very careful with our rules and very careful with what we're trying to identify and how we approach it and making sure we do this correctly. So I did do this one in the second hour yesterday, but I'll do this one right now with everybody. And again, rule number one says, okay, what's the longest consecutive chain of carbons? My longest consecutive chain of carbons is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. With these triple bonds, it's kind of funky because it's linear, okay? But there is a carbon right here, and there is a carbon at the end, obviously. So this is 9. What's the prefix for 9? Non.
Sorry, we're all just like really out of it right now.
Yeah. So 9 carbons. Now, what are the functional groups that I have? What's that thing?
It's a kind.
That's an alkyne.
Yeah.
I also have these little fellers. Those are meth, yes. We have one little carbon side chain as well. When you have carbon side chains, you use the prefix and just use a YL ending. So for example, if it's a 1 carbon little side chain, that's methyl. If it was a 2 carbon side chain, it would be ethyl. If it's a 3 carbon side chain, it's propyl, so on and so forth. Now,
Or is it dimethyl?
I have more than 1 methyl, so we will call that dimethyl. Correct. When you have multiples of the same functional group, you do use prefixes with that. Di, tri, tetra, whatever it might be. Okay? So this is dimethyl nonine. However, that's not quite enough
Oh, we gotta have a number.
because we also have to identify where these things are occurring on the molecule, right? So we need to number our carbons. Our options are to number left to right or right to left. The goal is to make sure that the numbers are as low as they can possibly be. So there's three things we need to identify. The two methyl groups and the triple bond. If I number from left to right, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 for my numbers. If I number right to left, I would get 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 8, or 1, 4, 7.
147.
1, 4, 7. Okay, so we're going to call this 4, 7 dimethyl nonine. Now, I don't need to have a number with my ine, my alkyne, because if I don't put a number with it, the assumption is that it's number 1. Okay, it's on the first carbon. So if this double bond were actually shifted one place over, I would have to call this 4,7 dimethyl 2 nonine, or 4,7 dimethyl non 2 ine. If you remember, the numbers sometimes show up in the middle of the word. Okay, but this is an appropriate name for this molecule because I suppose I should number it. Hold on, make sure we realize what I'm talking about here. 7. Right? 4, 7, dimethyl. There's one methyl, there's the other methyl. Nonine, 9 carbons in the chain, and the ine is implying a triple bond at carbon number 1. Keep going. See if you can get any of these in the last 6 or what I got 5 or 6 here at the tail end yet that we haven't done.
6, yeah.
Try them. Talk to each other. Please talk to each other. Don't work alone on this stuff. It's much more manageable if you've got somebody nearby. So please talk and give it a shot.
Don't.
No, it's not dumb. It's fun.
Wait, is this like- Which one?
Just to let you know. Wasn't that bad?
Oh, yeah. Out of your hand. I just want all to do it.
I got it.
Hopefully it's good.
Which one did you do? Wait.
Why does it take so long?
Multiple choice rating instructors.
They have like some people or they just have like
Yeah,
one or two years, like they don't know after like
Would you be able to?
I don't know why, I've never tried to. I think they generally have like they want like a 5-year minimum of teaching the course prior to like being considered to be a grader. So I've crossed over that spot, I'm sure I can. Yeah, it's a big job. Yeah, they fly you out there and read your wherever it is. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Eric.
Tests are not.
No, they bring them all into one national hub. Oh my
Holy
god.
crap.
Oh, that'd be- But there are gonna be so many people. Because they want the grading to be consistent, right? But that's the thing, is they want like all of the grading to occur within a 7-day period in the same location, so it's being monitored by like the same.
Okay, so why can't they just start earlier then? If it only takes 7 days either way.
Well, what do you mean start earlier? Start the grading earlier? Because it's generally teachers. They don't start it until summer. And then they-
July did not, that's, they, I didn't,
Like some schools
are wrong. No, they- they-
There's no school of this into.
That's what I'm saying.
Is there?
It's not a school.
Not our state, I don't know.
Our state. At the same time, I know the South, they get out of school.
Yeah, they generally start earlier and earlier, which we should too. I wish we did that. Yeah, I've complained about that
We know,
before.
Mr. Brown.
I know, I've complained about that before.
Is this one ethyl non-anoic acid. Oh, you guys got
That sounded like a lot of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's good. Right? The longest chain is 7, yes?
Yeah.
What's the prefix of 7? Heft.
I got it wrong.
Now, what is this functional group over here? That's a carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid. Ow. What is this functional group?
That's right.
Ethyl. So we have an ethyl group and we have a carboxylic acid group. Do we want a number from left to right or right to left? Right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to get named 5. Correct.
I was the
5-ethyl heptanoic acid. Now, this carboxylic acid group is at the end of my chain. So if I number this as carbon number 1, again, I don't need to identify it. It's just implied without a number. The implication is that it occurs on the first carbon. So 5-ethyl, there it is, heptanoic acid. Good work. Edward Carrot Fingers. Getting funkier.
No.
We're missing people today, aren't we? That feels like.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
the
nobody in the
macro.
front row. Oh, yeah, Mike Luca and everything.
Is it?
How do you hear that?
You didn't get the memo?
Don't get it out.
School is cool.
Oh, was it actually though? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, I generally don't know what grades you all are in, no offense, sorry. Nice. Your parents must be proud.
I don't think they are.
All right, so. Go to bed earlier.
I went to bed at 10:30.
Go to bed earlier. I was
It's
a bit.
been 9:30.
All sleep at 3:30.
Just died.
You got the right idea.
Longest nap ever.
That's literally what it is, though.
Yeah,
No, that's not what we said.
That's not something we
I didn't hear it, but I'm glad I didn't. Okay, how many carbons do we have for our longest chain?
6.
6. Now, there's options, isn't there?
Yeah, the opposite.
Because I can either go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Why is the second one the better choice?
Because you can do.
More functional groups coming off of it. That's the tiebreaker, okay? If I have more than one possible chain that has the same number of consecutive carbons, I pick the one that has more groups coming off of it. So if I look at this chain of 6, I've got like one weird alcohol chunk thing coming off, and then I've got this little methyl. Or if I pick this other one, I've got 1, 2, 3 things coming off of it. So we're going to pick the path or the chain with more functional groups coming off, okay? So my carbons are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do I want to number it? Yeah, left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a better choice than right to left because my numbers are now going to be lower overall for the 3 side chains that I have going on. What do I have? I've got, that's ethyl, methyl, alcohol. So we named these in alphabetical order, but the alcohol is actually going to become a part of the parent name, right? So this is hex, hexanol. Okay, the all part is a suffix added to the parent name. Correct. So this is going to be ethyl methyl hexanol, but we need some numbers as well. Sam?
All is like the suffix for like alcohol stuff, and how come they don't bring more like beverages with that?
I don't know. Marketing choices. I don't know.
Beer.
I'm not in marketing. That's more of a marketing question than a chemistry question. But I have 3 ethyl, 4 methyl, 2 hexanol, or hexan 2-ol. Cool?
Yeah.
You're getting it.
Yeah.
Some of this is, for some of you, I think this is settling quite nicely and it makes a lot of sense. Others are just not trying.
That's. Wait, one and a half of these were hexagon. Can I just write it as hexagon with 3 pointy things coming off?
That's not a great name, but I mean, I guess you're.
I would know what I was talking about.
When you're counting a chain, does it always have to start at one end and end at the or can I just start with all that hexagon?
Well, the hard part here is we have a cyclo group.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, we haven't.
yeah.
So we're going to call this cyclohexane and just count these 3 as like side chains. Say that again? Oh, good question. I just want the numbers to be as low as possible, right? So basically, it doesn't matter whether this is 1, that's 1, or this is 1. But I have to have number 1 start next to a methyl, right? Because if I started it right here and I counted clockwise, I would be like 2, 4, 6, as opposed to 1, 3, 5. So yeah, it doesn't matter whether I start my counting here, here, or here, and it also doesn't matter whether I go counterclockwise or clockwise, because I'm going to get 1, 3, 5 either way. Sam?
Then we have like a fantasy microscope that gets these molecules up close.
Sure.
Is this like what it looks like? Like a 2D?
So the angles between the atoms, yeah, would be really close.
It looks kind of flat.
This well, no. This would have some depth to it.
What would the depth be like? Or do they ever teach that?
They do. So the cyclohexane makes what's called the chair configuration, but it's not really what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Because it's
Is that like a fact or is this all like here?
no. There are means of determining angles and shapes of molecules. Yes. So this is not just paper pencil theoretical stuff. Okay. So cyclohexane. What are my groups? Methyls. How many do I have?
3.
So how am I going to call that?
Trimethyl.
Trimethyl. I guess I'll start at the top. So what do I want to call this then? One, 3,5 trimethyl cyclohexane.
What's stopping you from starting at the end of one of the carbon chains?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the hard part with that is that the cyclo group is its own functional group. So generally we isolate it. Because like if I called this like because I could like go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? But to describe that would be extremely like by making it 7, I can't describe the cyclic nature of it. So I isolate the cyclic part and then count all the groups off of that, basically. Oh, good luck with this one.
Fish. This is gotta be.
Is this still cycle?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Is it methylene cyclobutane?
very close. This carbon and that nitrogen are bonded, so the methyl part, you're kind of. I've got 4 carbons in a ring. What's that called? Cyclobutane. This is a nitrogen attached to a carbon. That's an amine. Okay, now, which of those is a part of the parent name? Sort of both of them, right? But the cyclo part comes before, the amine part comes after. So we can totally do this, we just have to switch the name of cyclobutane. Cyclobutyl amine. This is called cyclobutylamine. You do, but when they're a part of the parent chain, then the alphabeticalness goes away. Meaning, like when we name an amine, the amine is always like the very last thing. So we can't change where that shows up in our name, so to speak. It's always going to be a part of the parent. Sam? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Yes. Those main 4, and every now and then phosphorus, and every now and then sulfur, but really those 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Prefix hept. What's the functional groups? Alkenes. How many do I have? 2. Very close. The di needs to go next to the part of the name that describes the functional group. What part of the name describes the alkene? Ene, right? So ene, this is called a diene, and it might feel like you are diene. There's all sorts of t-shirts and mugs about that too. There's like, they make like little molecule stick figures, and then there's a stick figure on the ground that says, "Help me, I'm dying," and then it's like a diene molecule. You guys are just crabby and you're crabby.
Yeah, you're.
I am crabby.
What the heck? You're supposed to be a cool teacher.
Sorry.
Really blowing up today.
I know.
Up in our face and screaming.
That's okay, so this is gonna get called. Two, 4. Heptadiene, or hepta 2,4-diene. The butyl one? No. Now what happened?
The longest change right there.
I'm trying to, there's kind of like a guy. You really look at it.
Identify the longest carbon chain first.
It's at least 2.
I would agree. I would say it's greater than or equal to 2. Probably more of the greater than part of that. That could be a true statement. Yep. I think it's 10, right? I think it's just right on the middle. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Functional groups? I've got some meths. I've got some Fs. I've got some propyls. No.
Can we figure out what the meth one looks like?
I'm sure we could look it up, but I don't know. I don't know what it is offhand. But it's not very. It's a pretty simple molecule. And again, it's pretty easy to make.
Wait, how do you make it?
I don't know.
Just watch that. Like,
I don't know.
He's saying that for me.
Which way do I want to number? Right to left or left to right? Right to left.
Yeah, that actually is really
Huh?
Does administration watch these videos?
I can't imagine they would want to bore themselves with my class.
This is not boring.
Oh, wow. Now, when I name ethyls and methyls and propyls, I'm going to go in alphabetical order. Ethyl's going to come first, methyl's going to come second, propyl's going to come third. So, this will be 3,4 diethyl 2,9 dimethyl 5,6 dipropyl decane.
Yeah, that's a really simple molecule.
I mean, it all makes sense though, right? Like in terms of the rules, like it's very logical. It's obnoxious in terms of how it gets named, but it's systematic, and I think it's pretty logical how we arrived at that name. 3,4 diethyl 2,9 dimethyl 5,6 dipropyl decane. You know, standard stuff, yeah. Yes. Depends. I just want my numbers to be the smallest they can be. So if I did go left to right here, right? I would have, the 2 and the 9 are still the same. But my ethyls would be, what would they be? 7, 8? Right? I mean, so you're always looking to number it in a way that the groups, the side chains, are always the lowest they can be. All right, so if you thought that was fun, let's draw some pictures.
I just draw a circle.
Let's flip the script completely. Instead of writing names, take the name that I give you and draw me an organic molecule.
Holy crap, number 25, like 75 words.
Good.
Wow, this is too complicated.
No, it's not.
I'm going to need an app for this.
And they died on the last page.
Whenever somebody's ready on heptane, come on up and draw it. That's easy. You can totally do that. I take this one over some of the other ones. Yeah? Okay, no, fighting over the marker.
You guys need to do half of it.
Yeah, well, I broke it, it doesn't work.
See, this is what happens.
I don't know.
Oh, there it goes. Yep. Heptane, super easy. Alkane, single bonded carbon chain. 7 of them. Thanks, Jagger.
Yeah.
Sam?
Don't do anything inappropriate.
Don't do anything.
I'll call your mother.
I know your mom.
There's your son.
Oh my gosh, what is this garbage?
He is.
He is too.
What are you doing?
That's white,
Why
that's
is
white.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you're gone. Bye. Next kid.
You can see it up close.
No, you can't.
I can see it. Wait, I think you can see it.
On my book, can you see it?
Who's next?
I have an idea of how it is.
Anyone?
Come on.
I don't want to do it.
Come on, people.
This one.
She missed yesterday. You missed both days?
I have no idea what's going on.
I can't imagine you do.
Yeah.
Don't be helpful.
Yeah, dude. This front page will make everything.
I got this.
I've got an idea of what it might be.
I bet you're good.
Uh,
I got it.
oh,
Oh, now it's really thin. Hold on.
Did you read like the second page of the?
So,
Yeah.
what about this thing?
This thing, that's just practice. This is like.
Getting yours?
What?
I just wonder.
Is that normal? That's too thick now?
Too thick.
We're trying.
I think it looks great.
Nope. Close. Coming back up?
They got this.
That looks good. Yay, art. 3 hexyne. Triple bond on the 3rd carbon of a 6-membered chain. For octanol. Who wants it? Your privileges of coming up to the whiteboard have been revoked. Your white marker
I
and
know what it is.
large, whatever, highlighter selection.
This is
Excellent.
Please, what's wrong about that?
Do I speak trust and then says you should use more people?
That's killing trees.
Technically, he said that they plant more trees.
Okay, but there's still.
It's actually.
Yeah, no, it is, but.
I don't get it.
Well, they're
It's
actually-
unnecessary to use paper.
The hard part is that they, again, like generally speaking, like you get to where we've gotten with deforestation, like now they just replace like natural habitats with like, quite literally, like lumber farms, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That was beautiful. Thanks, Dylan. Yeah, that's good. No, look, yeah, either way, you can write it as OH or you can write it as O-H, same thing. That's correct.
Nice.
Who wants the next one?
Will Hayes.
Mr. Gross.
Yeah, well,
Huh? Oh, it could be. Did you draw it here? That's the same.
Well, I like to be supposed to read it right from left. Is that?
You can do either way.
Yeah, so So, actually, Logan, this is a good thing. So, if I number from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's carbon number 4, right? So this is correct. However, if I numbered from right to left, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you put the OH right here, totally fine, it's the same molecule, it's still correct. The issue comes in is when we have more than one functional group, then the numbers really, really matter. Because then it's a matter of like the lowest numbers throughout, right? But if I have just one little functional group, I can make a mirror image of that or flip it, and it's the exact same thing. Propanamide. Are there no wipes in this room at all? Propanamide. Who wants to draw this one? You've been good at this, Will. I mean, I would hate to make you come up here in those heels, though.
Wait, I got an idea.
I admire your commitment, sir. I really do. 'Cause that was not that fun.
I'll figure out.
I don't know. I mean, there's no harm in
I'll
like
figure out penicillin, yeah.
doing the thingy.
I'll rediscover penicillin.
That is not all.
I don't know. It's kind of that's what my thought process grew up.
You're really, really close.
Really close.
Really close.
Where'd I go wrong? Propanamide.
The double bond oxygen would need to be next to the nitrogen.
Oh,
So like you're right, you're one away.
so like this?
Yes,
Got
that
it.
would be acceptable.
Got it. I was thinking next to as in like terms of just like sort of closeness. I didn't know like exact same part.
Correct. Nitrogen and oxygen would have the same carbon.
Wait, does it have to be?
It would be NH2. Now, if you just wrote N, that's kind of okay, because again, organic chemists just are lazy with their hydrogens. It kind of is, yeah. I mean, really, that's how they treat it. But yeah, prop 3, 1, 2, 3, and then an amide is an oxygen, double bond oxygen with a nitrogen group right next to it. Pentanoic acid.
Honestly, these things are.
painful.
Sure.
What are you like putting yourself through that?
I do a lot of things for drama.
That's very dramatic of you.
Well, I wouldn't have gotten drama student of the year otherwise.
There you go.
Oh dear.
Assuming it's normal, that's fine. Ooh, dark purple.
Not really something, maybe like jagged blue or something like
Did you say Jags blue? Not blue.
that. It's definitely blue.
It's teal? It's teal.
It's still blue.
Oh, that's my pencil.
It's a type of blue.
Or is it a type of green?
It's a type of blue.
No, orange is just me on brown.
That's true. I like
Don't
that.
you get
Did I do that
orange
correctly?
red and yellow?
Looks great. Your bond angles are screwed up, but I like it. It's correct.
All right, cool.
Pentanoic acid, 5 carbons, prefix pent.
Looks like a blue skier. Look, because those are the mountains, and then that's a dude with a ski stick. You see it? Yeah, it's right there. That's a dude skiing.
It's the chalet.
The chalet.
Challenge.
I was in the dead center of the testing room, and I was right under a vent, so I would be working, and then a vent would just blow as strongest wind, just like pour my pages.
Really?
Yeah, I had to like hold my paper down as I
I'm
worked.
glad I had a jacket. It suddenly got very cold.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah.
I've heard the testing experience over at the Ski Hill at Slip End. Not great.
Why don't they?
Well, like, other than it was kind of cold and I was direct.
I'll say I heard the calc, yeah, sorry, the calculus is what I heard was bad. Ooh, you going for this one? This one's tough.
Yeah, it was like one of the janitors.
Yeah.
All the janitors walked in and started doing this, like,
Well, you know, because the vents were broken.
That's not right.
That's not right.
They're Ethel discs.
Do big circle and then dot in the middle. That's what
Yeah, Ethel's too.
Fine,
we raised.
there you go.
No, no.
I like how the little part.
I tried.
I don't know if you guys are gonna get this one. Now, an amine is what? There's a nitrogen. So, triethyl amine. There's 3 ethyls. What are those ethyls attached to? The nitrogen. Now, nitrogen makes 3 bonds with a lone pair. So if there's just one bond to nitrogen, it's NH2. If there's 2 bonds to nitrogen, then it would be NH. And if there's 3 bonds to nitrogen, then it's just N. So if I'm making triethylamine, my nitrogen's actually in the middle, and I'm going to have 1 ethyl, 2 ethyls, 3 ethyls. Okay? There'd be a lone pair here as well. What now?
Wait, so
How do we know the little?
Well, you don't have to worry with the lone pair. Right? You don't have to draw that if you don't want. But nitrogen always has a lone pair. Or sorry, almost always has a lone pair.
Why do we not have NH2?
So nitrogen makes 3 bonds. When it's NH2, it's because there's only 1 bond to a carbon and the other 2 bonds are to hydrogen. So in this instance, nitrogen has all 3 of its bonds to 3 different carbons. So it's just N. We just need 3 things attached to nitrogen, basically. So in this context, we have 3 things attached to nitrogen. Whereas like something like this, there's only 1 thing attached to nitrogen. So the other 2 must be hydrogens. Oh, well, this would have a lone pair too.
Oh.
But we don't need it. I didn't need to draw it in. I'm sorry. Maybe that was overkill. 3-chlorononane.
You know, presuming you did this right.
No, we're just gonna put it in the breast box. That's what I was suggesting.
Holy commander, what are you? Well, is this your first time at deals?
How high are they?
I don't know,
Not very.
I'm usually 5'11".
Really
Don't know.
still?
My sister gave them to me for today.
Higher you want them? I don't get it. I don't
What?
know why. Why you guys-
Oh, it's to dress up for the 1X. It's supposed to be dress up like your director day, and they're both females, so I didn't know what else to wear, so I just slapped on a pair of heels.
Just slapped on a pair of heels.
Yep.
Have a sundress at the disposal.
Oh, I was gonna wear a dress today too, but. I can't read. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I haven't done this to you yet. Chloro. Just means a chlorine. Makes sense, right? So 3-chlorononane would be a chain of 9 carbons with a chlorine off of the third. Sure can. Well, generally your chlorines, and bromines are where it happens. So fluoro, chloro, boro, or bromo, rather, sorry. Decene. Decking's really expensive now with the price of wood.
Yeah.
Anyone get my wood joke?
Nope.
Okay,
Yeah, no, but good. You know,
Oh, yeah, I got it.
okay, good.
I just think you should use it.
Decking. Thanks, guys.
Like these boards that you stand on, and sometimes elevated on the platform. It's really expensive right now.
I said decking's really expensive.
Yeah, but is this stuff really expensive?
Oh,
No,
Nice-
that
nice
stuff, no.
away from-
Sorry.
does it matter where you put the double bond?
As long as it's on the end, right? Because there's not a number, so that's the issue. If there were a number with it, well, then it would imply it's somewhere in the middle. But without the number, it's implying that it's on the first carbon. So, you could have either drawn the double bond over here or the double bond over there. Doesn't matter, it just needs to be on the end of the chain. Cycloheptane.
Little circle.
This is like the one thing I'm understanding this year.
Good.
We're gonna see if I fully understand it though.
Good luck drawing a cycloheptane though.
Well, I mean,
Wait, that doesn't work, because there's, it wouldn't connect.
What do you mean?
No.
if it's a circle,
Well, if it's 7, it's just gonna be like
Yeah.
one symmetrical circle. The way.
how can you have an unsymmetric?
Because it's not a true circle, it's just long.
So it's an
Giving
oval.
a circle.
No,
is
just
long.
do it, you know how to
Oh,
do
you
it.
go.
You can have like 4 on one side and 3 on another.
Got this.
I'm gonna try and make it symmetrical. Like it's 6.
Yes, I can give that.
You're not having unsymmetrical.
You're about to see.
We'll know how to do it. We knew how to do that. Oh, God.
Oh, it was like, they're connecting, there's 3 points. Oh.
I don't know why that one turned into an O.
That happens to me too. I
I
just
just
start writing.
kind of blanked because I have circle on the mind.
Okay, I'm skipping. I really said I'm doing.
Thanks.
I'm getting used to these, I might be able to run this.
I would like to see you try. And I would like video.
That's not the best. 7-sided carbon ring. Kind of tough to draw. But that's all it is, right? The prefix cyclo is implying a ring. Hep is implying 7. So a 7-membered carbon ring. We'll pick this up tomorrow. Thanks for your participation and generally agreeable demeanor.
Don't.
I said generally. Have a lovely day. We'll catch you tomorrow. Huh? Sure. Go for it.
Yeah, I want to see my other stuff.
Okay, Rosin, you got like 2 people right after we like.
Told ya.